we are not only dealing with COVID every day, we also deal with everything else that the rest of our nation is dealing with. And last week, we had some issues with social media and posts being presented, a lot of rumors going through, in which we did a lot of work with the Auburn Police Department, and I thank Chief Slayton and all of his police officers for all the hours they put in. You know, what's discouraging sometimes is that we work so hard to get our kids in school in person. We had a lot of people voicing concerns last year because of COVID and our children not being able to be in school in person. And now we deal with another obstacle and hurdle, which is violence that are happening in other states, but circulating throughout our nation. One of the big issues that we deal with is what's posted on social media, and some of the things and how that affects what we do every day. Social media is hurting us in a lot of ways, such as people putting rumors of shootings going to be happening in schools. Not only just by students, this was by parents. You know, social media postings that we deal with every day with bullying issues. We have those as well. A lot of our bullying that is happening in our schools are happening from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night. But what happens is it rolls in the next day, and we're dealing with those issues. We have students at the high school, at the junior high, that have face masks on and socially distanced, but a lot of the bullying that we see that continues to happen is on social media. And we need help with that. We need help from parents, we need help from the community to help us so that we can keep our kids safe and keep them in school, as we did and we saw what happened last week. Last week, you all know, there was social media posts about some type of violent act that might happen at the high school on Friday, which was based off of rumors. We had no information dealing with a graphic, violent act of violence happening on Friday. But because a couple of people put it in social media, it grew and it spiraled. And it got to the point where, thankfully for Chief Slayton, police were involved and spent many hours helping us to try to track down where this all began, where it happened. You know, thankfully for us, it was based on rumors, but we had extra police support in our building on Thursday and Friday at the high school. We're continuing to monitor. Whenever we do get something on social media, such as a threat, we investigate it immediately. Did it 2 weeks ago when there was something posted on social media. We were on the phone at 1 o'clock in the morning, dealing with the police department. Mr. Morgan and I were on the phone. We continue to monitor this stuff all the time. But sometimes it's out of all of our controls because social media blows up so big on us. The reason I asked Chief Slayton to come this evening is just to talk to us a little bit about what our process is, because if we do have people that are making threats on social media, we will not take that lightly. We will have police involvement, school discipline will also be involved, but whenever we get these type of things, the first people we call is Chief Slayton. So I just asked Chief Slayton to be here this evening just to talk a little bit about what our process is, and that we will not take this lightly, and we will involve police if these things happen. Chief Slayton?
Thank you, Mr. Parazola. I appreciate everybody's time. You know, with these threat assessments that we do, we have to take everything into account. We have to take into account that if there's any writings or just rumors, and now with social media out there, we're always behind it. We always have to chase what's being put out on social media. And for us, it's very difficult to keep up with that. As you all know, most people have phones, they can post anything they want. So what we try to do is, first of all and foremost, we're very fortunate that we have SROs in all the schools. We have officers in all the schools. With the school district, we put some special patrol officers in the elementary schools. Our goal between everybody is to keep everybody safe, and not only faculty and staff, but the children and the people at home, the parents coming to pick up their kids. So, with that being said, we need everybody to understand when you forward stuff on in a text message that you receive that you have no knowledge of, and pushing these rumors out there even farther just makes that much more difficult for us, and that's more leads we have to chase. We're a small department. We're going to do whatever we can. If we need to get the state police involved or the Q County Sheriff's Department, we will. But like Mr. Parazzolo said, every lead that they get, they forward to us, and we both chase it on each end. The school district's doing their part, and the police department's doing their part. What I want people to understand is there is laws in place for people that post stuff that is not in fact true. So, falsely reporting an incident basically says when a person knows the information reported, conveyed, circulated to be false or baseless, he initiates or circulates a false report or warning of an alleged occurrence or impending occurrence of a crime, catastrophe, or emergency under circumstances which it's unlikely that public harm or inconvenience will result. So that being said, all those people that put that stuff out there that don't have any knowledge means that many more leads we have to chase, and the person that did initially put it out there can be held accountable. So that's our goal. I just want everybody to know that every time you put something out there and just push it on, that's just that much more that we have to chase. And in fact, you don't have the knowledge, direct knowledge of something being involved. We will continue to work with the school district. We haven't set this aside. There's nothing in writing, but we're not going to let it go until we make certain that we covered every lead, we uncovered every rock, checked every piece of paper, whatever it is, and we'll continue to do that until we find the person responsible for putting this out there, because many of you are parents, you know what it put you through. I live in this community, my kids went to school here, I dealt with this, I was an SRO for 9.5 years, so I know what it took the SROs to go through this and the school district. So we just ask for everybody's cooperation, that when you get something like this, contact the officials here at the high school, contact your guidance counselor, Principal Morgan, but don't push it out on social media because it makes it that much more difficult for all of us. Okay, I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me come in. We'll continue to work with the school district.
Chief Slayton, we're extremely appreciative of you, and we know how quickly you respond when our superintendent reaches out. And we're thankful for all of our officers. I was in the building on I think it was Thursday, and getting kind of different social media reports from around, and everyone was just very professional and making our students and staff feel safe. So we're so thankful to have your officers' presence in the community, and we value the relationship. And thank you for coming out tonight too.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Can I just add
Absolutely.
a comment to that? Superintendent Parazzolo, thank you for fielding all of those calls from the board on those 2 days, and your leadership team. I know that if we were calling, how many other people in the community were calling you to, your swift response to any of the phone calls and those threats that you've seen, all of the written documentation that you gave, and this very easy rapport that the school has with our school, with our police department. And again, I want to thank you all very much for coming here too. I don't per se have my own children in this district, but I have many first cousins and their parents, being tremendously afraid of what might happen. And I continue to push back to say, let me tell you, they have it, they are aware, there are community partnerships that are aware, and there are things in place. So I'm glad that you both addressed it. Thank you again for your partnership, and then I can take that back to those folks that came to me.
Thank you, Loretta.
And thank you, and I do appreciate it. Again, thank you to Chief Slayton and all the work that they do, and we do have a great partnership with the police department. You know, I guess in closing, what I'm asking is we need community and parents to help us, because our number one goal is to keep our children in school safe. Regardless if it's COVID that we're speaking about, or we're speaking about social media and safety versus violence, we need everyone to be supportive, the community and parents really helping us to guide the social media that's going on with their children to make sure that we keep it safe, to keep our schools open. You know, with that being said, if we do have a threat or we do have a concern, we will listen to our police department. If Chief Slayton believes we need to close the school down or we need to do something, we will do that immediately. We will jump forward, we will do whatever we have to do. But when the police department tells us that it's a non-credible threat, these guys are the professionals, this is who we listen to. And whether it's a rumor or a threat, the police department will be investigating that for us. But again, thank you for everything you do, and I appreciate the whole school community coming together, because there were a lot of nervous parents, there were a lot of nervous children, there was a lot of nervous staff members. But you know, we'll continue to get that information out and keep everybody informed. Again, thank you.
And just so you know, on that note, we don't take all that on ourselves. The FBI was involved in this on our end, on the intelligence center. Well, they have a lot more resources than we do, but they got us the information before school was to start. And my first phone call in the morning was to Brian Morgan. So I had that information from the FBI. Okay, I wanted to add that piece. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.